This is how he's going to try to bring Israel to its knees. You are Israel. That's us. We better be prepared. If you're looking for a rapture bus, hold on, sweetheart, and hold on to your change because you're going to need it. All right? That is a lie from the pit. Speaking of pits. To catch you unaware. And see me afterwards. I have 100 tapes if you need them, or 50, or I have many tapes you need to straighten out rapture theology. Don't be judgmental if you don't understand things that you don't understand. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Satan opens the pit of the deep. And so these locusts are demons, listen, under his authority, because he's the one that has the key to the pit of the deep. These are demons. These locusts are symbolic of demons that he has authority over. Look at the end of verse 3. And the authority was given to what? To the locusts and the scorpions of the earth to possess authority. So the locusts come out of the earth and come out of the air. The scorpions are on the earth. There's your dual attack. Hello? Satan launches a dual attack. From the earth through the scorpions, we know a type of demons, right? And the locusts that are released into the air. So these four spirits are going to attack humanity from both the air and the land. Are we on?
Yeah.
Are we going?
We're going.
Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Now, I want you to understand that because the book of Revelation is given in symbolic language, speaking in things hard to understand without symbolism, this term bottomless pit, I can't struggle with anymore, because think about it. The bottomless pit was dug in the earth. Was it not? Doesn't the word always says the bottomless pit was dug in the earth? What's wrong with that? If it's dug in the earth, it can't be bottomless.
Yep, makes sense.
I'll say that again. If this pit is dug in the earth, it can't be bottomless. It has a bottom to it, doesn't it?
Yep.
Are you with me? Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Stay with me. So how can this pit where these demons, these locusts are released from, to join the scorpions that will come against humanity, especially Israel, in the latter days, how can that be? Now, if we go to the Greek word in Strong's Concordance number 12, the Greek word where we get pit is the Greek word abusos, whose root is buthos, which means depth, which means depth as in the bottom of the ocean, as in a bathysphere. Has anyone ever heard of a bathysphere?
Yes.
What is a bathysphere? It's a vehicle you take to the bottom of the ocean, right? But there is a bottom to the ocean, is there not?
Yes.
The ocean floor is not a bottomless pit, is it? It is not, is it?
No, it's not.
So then a bathysphere, you go to the bottom of the ocean, and the word abuso, whose root word is bathos, means from the deep or immeasurable depth or unbound, limitless depth, but it does not mean bottomless pit.
No.
Amen.
Abyss.
Now Yohanan, he's a first century man. Turn to your neighbor and says, he's a first century man. And in order to understand things in the spirit happening in the 22nd century, Yahweh has to use symbolism, does he not?
Yes.
Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Yohanan cannot be speaking of a pit dug in the earth that Satan or a malach is going to come down and unlock this pit that locusts come out of. The thing is, the only thing that Yahweh can be referring to is something that has no depth, are you with me? And no bottom, that is void and dark.
Okay.
Go ahead and sleep on me if you want. I'm going to keep teaching.
Word.
Can't shout every message.
Not on the earth.
So in order for something to be void and depthlessness without a bottom, it can't be on the earth, can it?
That's right.
Hello? Now the demons could be released from the earth, because how many know this earth is full of demons?
That's right.
But Satan coming down, unlocking the key to the abuso or the abyss, it's not a bottomless pit. It is somewhere outside, like Ted said, somewhere outside of the earth. That's dark and void. Are you with me?
Yes.
I'm talking about the four spirits of Eden.
Yeah.
That's right.
Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Baruch Hashem Yahweh.
Hallelujah.
Now, in Ephesians 2:2, we find out a very interesting description about this star. Now, you know what, the way I've heard Christian dispensational theologians teach this stuff? Agua, por favor. Let's get two up here because I don't want to keep you running. Think about that. How have you heard this taught? That there are these like rock stars, right? With like these scorpions, these locusts, are like long blonde hair, with like weird teeth, right? With like mangled faces, right? Coming out of the earth. Scorpianos, locusts. You ever see these weird drawings? I think the drawings are sometimes as demonic as the demons themselves. Sometimes I'm wondering if the drawings are more demonic than the actual demons. You ever buy a eschatological publication and they got all these pictures of all these locusts and all these scorpions on the earth? We'll see that later, how they get these weird images.
Okay.
Are you with me?
Yep.
Baruch Hashem Yahweh. So where is the bottomless pit in the earth? If it's in the earth, it can't be bottomless. Hello? In order for it to be without depth, without a bottom, it has to be somewhere that's void, somewhere that's dark, somewhere that's not in space. It has to be in outer space.
Okay. Yes.
Make sense?
Yes.
Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Let's see what the word of Yahweh says about these, where these scorpions and where these locusts hang. Want to see their hangout? Let's find out their hangout. Turn with me to Ephesians 2:2. Ephesians 2:2. It's too early to ask if you're enjoying at this point.
Hallelujah. Yeah.
So I'll just hang in there and ask you later. Ephesians 2:2. You once were dead in your trespasses and sins, in which you once walked according to the course of this world, according to the ruler of the authority of the air. Who is the star of heaven, Roberto? The star of heaven is Satan, who has now been thrown out of heaven, and he is the prince of the power of the air.
Right.
And it is him that is going to take the four spirits that destroyed our parents, Adam and Eve, and set your way in the last days to destroy Judah and Ephraim coming together, being drawn as one in the Father's hand, somebody. And we have the whole world looking for demons, scorpions, and locusts to pop out of the earth. I believe we'll see Harry Houdini pop out of the grave before we see that. Are you with me?
Yes.
Are we on?
Yeah.
Baruch Hashem Yahweh. So Satan is called the prince of the power of the air. And now we want to see what other scriptures say regarding where these scorpions are. We know scorpions are coming. We know locusts are coming. What are scorpions and locusts? Demons. Demons. But where are they coming from? They're being sent by the prince of the power of the air. They're coming out of the bottomless pit so that they form an air and land attack. Are you with me? They come out of the bottomless pit. Where is this bottomless pit? Go with me, please, to the book of Jude. Yehudah. Yehudah. Is anyone enjoying?
Yes. Yeah.
Yehudah. Yehudah. Verse 6. Yehudah, verse 6. And the messengers who did not keep their own principality, these demons were in heaven with who? The star of heaven, Satan, and they were worshiping Yahweh, but they didn't keep their first position. They didn't keep their first home. They didn't keep their first principality. What happened? They rebelled against Yahweh with S period, A period. All right? So these messengers that are in the bottomless pit are the ones who did not keep their own principality, but left their own dwelling. Where was their dwelling? In heaven. With the star of heaven, worshiping Yahweh. They left their dwelling. He has kept them. Now look at verse 6. I'm going to show you where the bottomless pit is. He has kept, Yahweh has kept these locusts, these demons, in everlasting shackles, under darkness. Hello, where are they? In prison, under house arrest, through the darkness. They're in what? The dark. Void, darkness. A pit without depth. What is a pit without depth? Darkness, voidness, emptiness. Tohu vavo in the Hebrew. Tohu vavo. Without form. Nowhere to go, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, because everything they have is darkness. They go to and from in darkness. So they're in prison because where the light of Yahweh doesn't shine, there is darkness. Are you with me? Amen. Look at the end of verse 6. They are under darkness for the judgment of the great day. Satan is the prince of the power of the air. Where does Satan live? In the air. The first air right above the earth. The first atmosphere right above the earth. Who's in prison along with him?
The demons.
Huh? Demons. Where? In a place that has no depth. It does not mean bottomless pit. It means a place, the abuso, the abyss. The Greek word, Greek Concordance Strong's 12. The abuso, the abyss. A place that has no bottom. It has no space. It has no confinement. It is fully and totally and completely void of parameters and barriers. But one thing it is totally dark. Turn to your neighbor and say totally dark. That's where these angels who did not keep their first estate are being held captive by Yahweh. Until when? Until Yahweh allows the former star of heaven to go down and to release them. To release them during Yaakov's trouble. During Jacob's trouble. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Go with me to 2nd Kepha. And I'm going somewhere with this, so hang in there. I'm going somewhere with it. 2nd Kepha 4. 2:4. 2nd Kepha 2:4. For if Elohim, Yahweh, did not spare the Malachim who sinned, but sent them to Tartarus. Not hell. Alright? Not the grave. Where are these demons who were thrown out of heaven? Where are they? Where have they been for thousands of years? Where have they been for millions of years, perhaps? Where have they been? Now, Christian theology tells you they're in hell and they're on the earth. Right? Wrong. Or they're kept in prison somewhere in Fort Knox. Right? Wrong. Where are these demons? Where are they? Where are they? Well, they're where the bottomless pit. Where do the demons live that have not been released? From the beginning of time, they've been kept in prison and never released. Have you ever heard different theories about this? Some say they're in hell. No. Some say they're in the earth. No, it's a bottomless pit. You can't have a bottomless pit in the earth. Amen? So if it's in the earth, it's got borders. It's got boundaries. There's a bottom to it. Wherever these demons are in prison, it's void of what? Boundaries, void of parameters. It is complete and total darkness. Yahweh calls the place Tartarus. Not tartar sauce. Tartaros. And I want to find out where Tartaros is. So the messengers, the Malachim who sinned in eternity past, have been sent by Yahweh to Tartaros, and he has delivered them not to redemption, but to chains of darkness to be kept for judgment. They are not in hell, they are in Tartaros. Hello?
Darkness.
Thank you. Tartaros is the place void of form. These spirits are held somewhere that is void of form. The only place that I know as a human being subject to the five senses, completely void of any form, cannot be. It's not Mercury, it's not Saturn, it's not one of the other moons or one of the other planets. The only place void of form is the air. What kind of air? Outer space. See, I'm not talking about aliens. I'm not talking about UFOs. I'm talking about spirits that are kept in darkness, and Yahweh does not allow them to see the light. Now, I'm going to explain what darkness is, because all y'all don't know what darkness is. You think darkness is going home, turning off the bulb in your bedroom. Yeah, in the natural. Turn to your neighbor and say, in the natural.
Natural.
But that's not the kind of darkness that's in Tartaros. In Tartaros, they are chained in a different kind of darkness. You're with me today?
Yes.
All of you look so serious.
Come on.
My goodness, the serious subject. Yeah, man. Sure is. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. So we know that symbolically they're in a place without form, void, with is complete darkness. I believe to be away from the earth, somewhere in outer space. You know how we like to talk about, well, Yahweh created millions and billions of galaxies and millions of universes, and all these things are millions and billions of light years away, and blah, 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 this, that, and the other thing, right? Well, that's what Tartaros is. It's not in the earth, because if it was in the earth, what? It would have a boundary. They're in the abyss, in a place that has no boundary, but in a place that is completely dark.
Yeah. In the void.
Are you with me?
Yeah. Void.
Kifa says it, Yehudah says it, Yochanan says it. Whose report will you believe? We only need 2 or 3 witnesses. Now what I want you to see here, go back with me to Revelation 9. Go back with me to Revelation 9. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. The 4 spirits of Eden. The 4 spirits of Eden. How am I doing, Brian? You good? Good?
So
I
far,
don't need to be nervous?
so far, you get it in.
Thank you. That and a bus ticket will get me places. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Revelation. So that darkness, and when you and I as a physical person, physical human being, when we think of darkness, we think of no light. Sweetheart, go to Walmart and buy a bulb. Right? Or honey, did you call the electrician? Did we get the 220 switch to a 110? Right? But what does Yahweh call darkness when it comes to demons? And we're about to find out. To be in the dark, listen, means to have no knowledge. See, the demons that fell with Satan, they had knowledge, and the demons that are going to be released in the Great Tribulation in the last days, they have knowledge because they're going to be taken out of darkness. They're going to be taken out of the bottomless pit. Are you with me? Or the abyss. They're going to be taken out. So they're in darkness, Baruch Hashem Yahweh, in the sense that they don't have a clue to what's happening on the earth. And that is punishment, is it not? Because what do these scorpions and these locusts want to do? They want to kill, steal, and destroy. And they want to know where you live, and how to find you, and how to destroy you, and what you're tempted by, and what your weak parts are, what your weak spots are, and what your weak points are, and where you can succumb to temptation. They want to be in the know. Demons really do want to be in the know. Because how else are they going to get you to fall and trip? And Yahweh says you're not going to know anything about Ted. You're not going to know anything about Rabbi Moshe. You're not going to know anything about my front row student. That's darkness. Darkness. They don't know nothing about nothing. They don't know who won the World Series. They don't know that the World Trade Center fell. They don't know that Russia is no longer communist. They would like to. They'd like to stir up strife, division, and trouble. And they will appear as 4 spirits, 4 chiefs in the latter days that are coming out of the abyss. Where is the abyss? In outer space. Are you with me?
Yes.
Not only do the 4 rivers flow out of Eden and coming into the holy earth, these 4 spirits are about to be released from the abuso, the bottomless area that's void of space and full of darkness. Tartaros. Tartaros. Let's see where we're going to go with this. I'm talking about the 4 spirits of Eden. Revelation 9. Let's go to Revelation again, 9:4. Out of the smoke, locusts come on the earth. Authority is given to them as scorpions of the earth to possess authority. Verse 4. It was said to them, they will not harm the grass, or of the earth, or any green matter, or any tree, but only those men who do not have the seal of Elohim upon their foreheads. I want you to see here before we go any further. These locusts coming out of the Abuso are not rock stars, all right, with weird hair like women and weird teeth, and we'll see that in a minute. These are demons that are chained by Yahweh, ready to be released in the Great Tribulation to exercise Yahweh's will in the earth, which is to destroy the human race that rejects His Son and preserve the human race that has accepted His grace, His chesed. And He allows the star from heaven to go and open. Let His boys go. Let His soldiers go. Let His followers go. And so these are not weird creatures. These are symbols of demons that are in Tartaros, in the void space that He will release in the latter days during Yaakov's trouble. Okay, now look at verse 4. And this is going to get exciting now. Look at verse 4. These scorpions that have the authority, as Yahweh allows the star from heaven to release them. Notice, as long as Yahweh does not allow them to be released, what? They cannot be released. But Yahweh will allow Satan to come and release them. And notice, even during the Great Tribulation, the time of Yaakov's trouble, when they are released, they will not be able to hurt any tree, but it doesn't say any human being. Oh yes, that's their whole purpose. Their whole purpose is to hurt human beings. To bring Yahweh's vengeance. It is the day of Yahweh's vengeance upon those who reject His mercy, His chesed, and His ahavah. Are you with me? The only ones, listen carefully, especially you Sunday folks who are just coming out of the Sunday system. Listen carefully. The only men that they are not allowed to hurt, look at verse 4, are those who have the seal of Elohim.
Amen. Hallelujah.
When I read my Bible, glory to God,
Doesn't matter.
I pray 5 times a day until the cows turn
Doesn't
pink.
matter.
Yahweh says, I'm asking one thing. You have the seal. Because during the Great Tribulation, when these 4 spirits are unloosed in the earth, death, division, Baruch Hashem Yahweh, idolatry, and pride, when these 4 spirits are released, you could be hurt. And there's one way to be protected. To become Israel and to be sealed. Are you with me? Does that make sense? To become Israel and be sealed. Now, if we can find out how Yahweh seals the 144,000 during the Yaakov's trouble, that's the seal that you need. If we can find how the 144,000 are sealed, we don't need to make up our own seal. We can just use the same seal that Yahweh seals the 144,000. Not Jewish evangelists. They're from all the tribes of Israel. There's nothing Jewish about them.
Amen. Hallelujah.
The ones from Judah are Jewish. The ones from Naphtali and Benjamin and Asher are not Jewish. Turn your neighbor and say they're not Jewish. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. But how would you know that if you don't understand the 2 houses? Let's find out what the seal of Yahweh is. My, it's going to get exciting now.
Come on.
Revelation 7:3. I saw another messenger. This is number 4 of the 7 trumpets, the 7 shofarot, saying the same thing. Do not harm the earth. Sound familiar? Do not harm the sea. Sound familiar? Do not harm the trees. Sound familiar? Until we have sealed the servants of Elohim on their foreheads. Hello? And I heard the number of those who were sealed. And they were 144,000 of all the tribes of Israel. So the 144,000 are sealed. The man that cannot be hurt by the release of the demons from the great Abuso, they also are sealed. But those are sealed with the same seal of the 144,000, and the 144,000 have the same seal of the Son of Yahweh. The same seal that preserves and keeps and guards the Son of Yahweh is designed to preserve, guard, and keep you.
Yes.
Look at Revelation 14. Look at Revelation 14. Even the Son of Yahweh needs this seal. Don't tell me that you're going to be raptured away. You need protection in the Great Tribulation. And the only way to have protection is to be sealed with the same seal of Yeshua. And 144,000. Talk to me, somebody. You can't buy this seal at Walmart. It's not for sale from your local stationery envelope company. There's one way to get the seal. Get out of the error and get into the truth. Get out of the error and get into the truth. What is the truth? Here it is. Revelation 14:1. The only trees, the only men, the only plants, the only things that will not be destroyed during Yaakov's trouble. If Yahweh said it, for if Yahweh didn't intervene, surely no flesh would be saved.
No flesh.
No believing flesh would be saved.
No
Even
one.
Matthew 24, he's talking to believers. No believing flesh would be saved. Except for the seal. What is a seal? There it is, Revelation 14. I looked. See, to find that seal, you're going to have to look. You're going to have to gaze. You're going to have to look upon it, desire it, and embrace it for yourself. I looked. I saw the Lamb. Where you'll find this truth, you'll find the Lamb. I'm not giving you a truth that does not come from the Lamb. It may not be the truth you learned in the Baptist church or tomorrow where some of you are going to go in your sin day worship, but this is the truth that the Lamb is going to give you. It may not be what you like to hear, but it's what the Lamb wants you to hear.
Yes. Yes.
Don't you love my diplomacy? I looked and saw the Lamb standing on Mount Zion. Do you know any lambs that hang out continually every day as the high priest on Mount Zion, in the heavenly Zion, in the heavenly Jerusalem, before the heavenly Father? Do you know any kind of lambs? I know only one lamb. And he's the Lamb of Yahweh that takes away the sins of the world. He stands on Har Zion with 144,000, and both 144,000 and the Lamb have the Father's name sealed in their forehead. If the Son of Yahweh needs his Father's name to protect him during the Great Tribulation, why don't you and I? These scorpions are coming. And these demons are coming out of the abuso. The question is, how will you be protected? Yahshua said in Yochanan 17, Father, guard them in thy name, which thou hast given me. I'm talking about being guarded by Yahweh. Guard them in thy name, which thou hast given me. Are you with me? Now go back with me to Revelation 9. Are we on? I said, are we on?
Amen.
Okay, Revelation 9. Go back to verse 4. So those who have the seal of Elohim will not be affected by the release of these demons, these locusts, from Tartaros. They're in Tartaros.